Thanks for checking out this video. So this is a rundown for everything coming to Shudder in November. And as far as volume goes, it's looking a little bit on the light side. But there is some very interesting stuff coming that I'm really excited about. Some stuff I've been wanting to see for a while. And some stuff that I really love and I highly recommend. So I'll talk about those as I go through. The first thing to say is the new series that is starting actually next week when I'm putting this video out, so in October, but it'll continue through November, is the Boulet Brothers Dragula Titans. Now, I would say get caught up on all the seasons of the regular show, which they have 1 through 4, plus the Resurrection special on Shudder right now, so you can get totally caught up. It's a drag show, horror-related competition. It's a lot of fun. I love it. So the Titans season is basically a bunch of people who I believe did not win in other seasons who are coming to like recompete. So it's kind of like the best of the best who didn't win. It's kind of the way it's being billed. Looks fun. Already saw a trailer for it. It's out there. Pretty excited. So highly recommend, obviously. So the next thing I'm going to go into is the Shudder original and exclusive films. Just a reminder that I have no spoiler reviews on my channel. Usually the week that they're coming out, but some of these are on off days. There's like a Tuesday. The ones that are on Fridays, I'll usually put them out like the Monday or Tuesday that week, but the ones that come out on like a Tuesday, I'll usually drop the review like the prior Friday. So that's kind of my plan. But if they're like Thursdays, Fridays, I'll usually drop the review on Monday if I'm able to, because sometimes there are like date embargoes for when I'm allowed to put up my reviews, just so you know. But you can always come to my channel for any Shudder exclusive or originals to see no spoiler reviews. Important point, no spoiler. Alright, so what are those films? Satan's Slaves. This is a Joko Anwar film. Love Joko Anwar. That's coming Friday, November 4th. The terrifying sequel to the Shudder original Satan's Slaves from acclaimed writer-director Joko Anwar. Satan's Slaves Communion follows a family living in a rundown apartment after escaping terror from an evil cult and their undead mother, unaware that their new home is a bigger threat to their lives. Returning cast members to the franchise include, and then they list them. So I actually haven't seen the first Satan's Slaves, so I should probably watch that before I do this one. And I don't know why I've waited so long, because I've seen a few Joko Anwar films and I think they're incredible. So I'm sure Satan's Slaves, which I've heard is outstanding, is outstanding. The next one is Mandrake, and it's coming Thursday, November 10th. Mandrake follows probation officer Kathy Madden, who is given the task of rehabilitating notorious killer Bloody Mary Laidlaw back into society after 20 years of jail. Kathy has always believed that every client deserves a shot at redemption, but her beliefs are firmly tested when 2 children disappear near Mary's farm. Sounds kind of interesting. I'm into it. The next one is called Slashback. It's like slash, then it's a backslash, and then the word back. So Slashback. This one says it's premiering Friday, November 13th. No, there's no November 13th in November. Or there's no Friday, November 13th in November. So I'm assuming they mean that next Friday, the 18th, I think. They got to proofread these things. The Sleepy Village... Oh, yeah, I said what it is. Slashback. The Sleepy Village of Pangnirtung, sorry, I did my best, wakes up to a typical summer day. No school, no cool boys, well, except one, and 24-hour sunlight. But for Micah and her ragtag friends, the usual summer is suddenly not in the cards when they discover an alien invasion threatening their hometown. This sounds interesting. These teenagers have been underestimated their whole lives, but using makeshift weapons and their horror movie knowledge, they show the aliens you don't F with girls from Pang. They literally start out the word. They don't really need to, but whatever. That sounds cool. That sounds interesting. Sounds like it may have a comedic element to it, so I'm excited for that. And then the last one of their originals and exclusives, it's premiering Tuesday, November 22nd, and it's called Blood Relatives. Francis, a 115-year-old Yiddish vampire, still looks 35. That's how it usually is for vampires. He's been roaming American back roads in his beat-up muscle car for decades, keeping to himself and liking it that way. One day, Jane, a teenager, shows up. She says she's his daughter and she's got the fangs to prove it. They go on the road deciding whether to sink their teeth into family life. Okay, that's it. That sounds boring. I'll see. Maybe it's good, but it sounds boring. All right, going to the other films that they're dropping. Now, this first one, there's a ton dropping on November 7th, or November 1st. So until I say a different date, all of these I'm about to list off are on November 1st. The first one's one I've been wanting to see, Anna and the Apocalypse. The night before Christmas, a zombie apocalypse threatens the sleepy town of Little Haven. Anna and her friends must fight, slash, and sing their way to survival, facing hellish snowmen, an undead Santa, and bloodthirsty elves in a desperate race to reach their loved ones hiding out at their local high school. But the lucky few that make it find out that the human threat they face there is the most terrifying of all. With civilization falling apart around them, the only people they can truly rely on are each other. Yeah, I've heard that one's pretty good, so interested in seeing it. Plus, I like holiday horror. I think it's kind of fun. The next one is To All a Good Night. The Calvin finishing school for girls is closed for Christmas vacation. However, Mrs. Jensen, the house mother, 5 teenage girls, and their mischievous male companions are all that remain at the school. Or are they? Not a whole lot there to really suck you in. Okay, then they're going to be dropping Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, 4, and 5. Just 3, 4, and 5. They had 1 and 2 on some time ago. I know a lot of people have seen those, but I do not recommend 3. It's terrible. Like, unwatchable in my opinion. 4 and 5 are a lot of fun, though, so I recommend those. But they're like standalone kind of. I'll read them. Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, better watch out. After being gunned down by police at the end of the previous film, the infamous Santa Claus killer Ricky Caldwell has been comatose for 6 years with a transparent dome affixed to his head by doctors. Wanting to contact Ricky, the eccentric Dr. Newberry begins using a blind clairvoyant girl named Laura Anderson to try to reach out to him. It sounds interesting. It's not. Actually, by the way, on my channel, I reviewed all of the Silent Night, Deadly Night films. I even have them in a playlist, so you can check that out. Now, Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, The Initiation. This one's crazy, has very little to do with the holidays. A beautiful reporter investigates the death of a girl who was set on fire and then thrown from the top of a building in Los Angeles. As she gets deeper into the story, she falls prey to a sinister cult of she-demons who seek to initiate her into their satanic sorority. It's fun. Clint Howard's in it, too, in a very interesting role. Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker, starring Mickey Rooney, who said after the first one came out that it was an abomination and that it shouldn't happen. Then he's in one of them. Malicious toy maker Joe Petto and his creepy son Pino, you see where this is going, terrorize the residents of a small town with the deadly toys they create. After their husband is killed by one of Petto's toys, Sarah and her troubled son Derek set out to stop the evil toy maker. It's fun. I recommend. Then Silent Night. As their small Midwestern town prepares for its annual Christmas Eve party, Sheriff Cooper and his deputy discover that a maniac in a Santa suit is murdering those he judges as naughty. Their sins, making porn, adultery, greed, and he will make sure they rest in deadly pieces. Or heavenly pieces. Deadly pieces, about the same thing. Fun. Then they're re-adding Creepshow, which was on there pretty recently, then it cycled off, so I'm not going to go over that one. We all know Creepshow. Then another film I've been wanting to watch, and have heard good things about, Alone in the Dark. A secluded mental institution keeps the nearby neighborhood safe from menaces like Frank Hawks and Preacher, played by Martin Landau. Oh, and Frank Hawks is played by Jack Palance. That's cool. When a sudden power outage leaves the town in chaos, the maniacs are free to roam the streets and hunt down their new doctor, who they believe has killed off their former therapist. That's interesting. Now, the next 3 are coming on November 7th. Evil Dead Trap. A TV station employee takes a camera crew out to an abandoned factory to investigate a purported snuff film that was made there, only to end up running for their life. Not a whole lot there. Maybe good. Evil Dead Trap 2. A killer is on the loose in Japan. Young women are being horribly mutilated. Aki, a young woman who works as a film projectionist, is haunted by a childlike ghost. Her friend Emmy is a TV news reporter covering the horrible mutilations. Everyone involved has a dark secret and something evil is taking control of them. They are pawns in a game being played by forces beyond their understanding. Sounds kind of interesting. And then this one, I actually just found out about this. This is so funny, it's going to go up on Shudder. I just found out about this movie like this week and was like, man, I want to see that. That's interesting. So it's great that it's showing up. Bloody muscle bodybuilder in hell. It looks crazy. Known as the Japanese Evil Dead, this legendary sought-after independent Japanese cult film will enjoy its first ever North American release in any format and features new bonus content. Trapped inside a haunted house, a bodybuilder must survive a blood-soaked night of insanity to save himself and his friends from a demonic ghost that is hell-bent on revenge. It looks nuts. I've seen some stills from it. It looks nuts. I'm in. I'm all in. Then the next two films are coming November 14th. Dr. Tar's Torture Dungeon. A mysterious man is sent into the forest to investigate the bizarre behavior of the notorious Dr. Tar. What he stumbles upon is the Doctor's Torture Dungeon, a hellish asylum completely cut off from civilization and presided over by the ultimate madman. Innocent people have been savagely chained, tortured, and stuck in glass cages, then forced to take part in gruesome games of ritual slaughter. That sounds crazy. Might have to check it out. And then the other one is The Last Broadcast. On December 15th, 1995, a four-man team from the cable access program Fact or Fiction braved the desolate New Jersey Pine Barrens, determined to deliver a live broadcast of the legendary monster, the Jersey Devil. Only one came out alive. It took the jury 90 minutes to sentence the lone survivor to life in prison. 1 year later, filmmaker David Lee decided to mount his own investigation. Convinced that the man convicted of these terrible crimes was innocent, Lee proposes the murders were committed by someone or something else. Could the Jersey Devil still haunt the Barrens? That sounds interesting. Might check that out. And then the last one for November, coming November 21st. Sweetie, You Won't Believe It. What begins as a fishing trip with the boys quickly spirals out of control when they witness a mob hit in the forest. And that's just the beginning of this insane, violent, hilarious misadventure from Kazakhstan. Interesting. Never seen a film from Kazakhstan, so I might have to check that out for that reason. So that's it. That's what's coming to Shudder. Let me know your thoughts. Are you excited for some of these films? Let me know which ones you're excited about. Which ones you can highly recommend. Which ones you might say, maybe don't bump them up to the top of your list. I'll try and take that stuff under advisement, but I can't always because there's just so much I'm trying to do it all and watch all the time, so that would be awesome. But comment, do me a favor and hit subscribe to my channel if you like this video or any video I've ever done. Also, at this point, I have done, when this is going up now, 2 top 10 lists for Shudder. One is my top 10 hidden gems on Shudder right now, and the other one is my top 10 foreign language hidden gems on Shudder at the moment. So check those out. Subscribe to my channel, please. Hit the notification bell, please. That's the way to repay me if you like any videos. Really appreciate that. Thanks for checking out this video, though, and until next time, keep it brutal.